God-level duplication system. Chapter 78. Make a move. Sure enough, it's a new disciple. You can't do it. That's right. No matter how powerful you are in the outer sect, you'll have to lower your head obediently when you come to the inner sect. This man has been taught a lesson. Let's see if he still dares to provoke us in the future. The disciples of the inner sect clamored. Most of them were sneering at Chen Yuzi, because in the past few days Chen Yuzi had been constantly challenging the disciples of the old inner sect, and he had continuously won. This had caused them to lose a lot of face. At this moment, when they finally saw Chen Yuzi's defeat, they naturally took pleasure in Chen Yuzi's misfortune and ridiculed him. Chen Yuzi also had an ugly expression on his face. However, he had indeed lost, and he had no strength to argue with them. Chen Yuzi, as the new disciple, you should behave yourself. If you want to act tough, wait another 2 years. This is how all new disciples come about. On the arena, the victorious Sun Cheng also sneered and mocked. Chen Yuzi's expression became even uglier. At this time, a familiar voice sounded. Is that so? I'm also a new disciple, you should teach me too. Chen Yuzi and the other disciples turned around and saw a handsome young man walking out. His figure flashed and landed in the arena. Lin Xuan, why are you here? Upon seeing Lin Xuan, Chen Yuzi finally understood why that voice sounded so familiar. He couldn't help but exclaim. When the surrounding disciples heard this, they immediately became lively. He's that Lin Xuan? Isn't he just a beginner for a month? Why did he enter the inner sect so quickly? That's right. The lowest level of disciples in the inner sect is at the Qi transformation stage, right? Even in the big competition of the outer sect a few days ago, he was only at the Qi gathering stage level 4. Haven't you heard of that rumor? 3 days ago, Zhao Gang went to the area where the inner sect's ordinary disciples lived to collect protection fees as usual. He met a new disciple who wanted to collect protection fees for the new disciples. Since the other party didn't agree, a conflict broke out between the two of them. In the end, Zhao Gang was still no match for the other party. He was defeated by the new disciple, and the protection fee was taken away by the new disciple. You said that the new disciple is Lin Xuan. How is this possible? I also feel that it's impossible, but that rumor is about Lin Xuan. Furthermore, Zhao Gang did not deny that the area where the new disciple is located was no longer charged with protection fees by Zhao Gang. All the disciples were discussing amongst themselves. However, their voices were getting lower and lower. After a short while, it became quiet. Their gazes gathered on Lin Xuan, and they were filled with shock. If these rumors were true, then Lin Xuan's talent was really too terrifying. In just 4 days, he had broken through from the Qi gathering stage level 4 to the Qi transformation stage level 1 and entered the inner sect. He was still in Qi transformation stage level 1, but he had already defeated a senior expert of the inner sect, Zhao Gang. His terrifying cultivation speed had also caused his strength to skyrocket. Wasn't this too shocking? All the disciples looked at Lin Xuan with extreme shock and disbelief. At the same time, they were also filled with anticipation. Since Lin Xuan had already stepped onto the arena, they could verify whether those rumors were true or not. Lin Xuan was a new disciple who had only broken through to the beginner level for a month. Not only did he participate in the outer sect's competition, but he had also become the #1 disciple of the outer sect. He had also broken through to the Qi transformation stage so quickly and entered the inner sect. Later on, there was a rumor that he had defeated a senior late Qi transformation stage disciple in an instant. Countless halos were shrouding his body. It was incomparably dazzling. This caused the disciples of the outer sect to be unable to open their eyes. In comparison, this made the disciples of the inner sect even more useless. Many disciples of the inner sect were oppressed by the rumors of Lin Xuan. They couldn't accept it. Now, Lin Xuan had come to the gambling arena, and he had taken the initiative to step onto the arena. Wasn't he taking the initiative to challenge them? They couldn't let go of this opportunity. When the news spread out, they believed that there would be many senior experts from the inner sect coming over. Even the elites of the inner sect might come. They didn't believe it. At this moment, Lin Xuan, who was at most an early Qi transformation stage, would definitely not be able to defeat an elite of the inner sect who was at the condensation spin stage. All the disciples were looking forward to the scene of Lin Xuan's defeat. Lin Xuan was so powerful that they couldn't even breathe under the pressure. If Lin Xuan lost, even if he only lost once, they would still feel better. Unfortunately, they were destined to be disappointed. Since Lin Xuan dared to enter the arena, he had full confidence. In the crowd, Chen Yuzi looked at Lin Xuan with a stunned expression. Originally, he was ridiculed by countless disciples of the inner sect because of his failure. He couldn't take it anymore. He was planning to escape. However, when he saw Lin Xuan, he still chose to stay. Lin Xuan, I didn't expect you to enter the inner sect so soon. Chen Yuzi murmured absent-mindedly. He was even more shocked in his heart. He originally thought that although Lin Xuan's combat strength was very strong, he had still defeated anyone in the competition. However, he was only a Qi gathering stage level 4. It would still take some time for him to enter the inner sect. He would need at least half a month or more before he could enter the inner sect. As a result, it had only been 7 days and Lin Xuan had already arrived. Furthermore, he could sense that Lin Xuan's Qi could already suppress him. In other words, Lin Xuan's cultivation base had already surpassed his. Lin Xuan was at least a Qi transformation stage level 3. In just 7 days, he had broken through to the Qi transformation stage level 3 from the Qi gathering stage level 4. This cultivation speed was too terrifying. Chen Yuzi couldn't believe it. But Lin Xuan was right in front of him. He had no choice but to believe it. He was even more shocked by Lin Xuan's talent. When Chen Yuzi heard the discussions around him, he was even more shocked. If these rumors were true, then Lin Xuan was too amazing. Putting aside the fact that his cultivation base had improved by so much, his ability was still so strong. Was he still human? Chen Yuzi looked forward to Lin Xuan's performance. Unlike the other disciples of the inner sect, he hoped that Lin Xuan could always win. He hoped that Lin Xuan could defeat all these so-called senior experts of the inner sect. He hoped that Lin Xuan could defeat their vile arrogance. Because the current situation is completely different from the outer sect, Lin Xuan and he were both new disciples. They were on the same side. The better Lin Xuan performed, the more benefits he would get. If Lin Xuan could keep winning, he would defeat all the experts in the inner sect. His situation would also be much better. As long as Lin Xuan was here, no one would dare talk about his new disciple's identity anymore. He could also live a better life. On the arena, Lin Xuan's expression was cold. He did have the idea of earning energy points, cultivation resources, and spirit stones in the gambling arena. But now he was filled with resentment. He knew that no matter where he was, bullying newcomers was a common occurrence, as if this had become a rule. But with his current identity as a newbie, he couldn't take it anymore. Furthermore, his cultivation speed would only get faster and faster. In other words, he wouldn't be able to stay anywhere for long anywhere. There were still many more days like this. And he couldn't stand it. He wanted to use his strength to prove that newbies weren't easy to bully. Whether it was this time or in the future,